Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, chapter 24, beginning from verse number 29. So, this is story of the sons of Prachin Barhi, the Prachetas. They went for performing austerities, and near the ocean, near the lake, they met Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva started speaking to them. He was telling that he knows the purpose, why they have come, and he will instruct them. So he just said that I have appeared here to give grace, anugraha, blessing to you. And he spoke that the supreme reality is Krishna, Bhagavan, Vasudeva, and he is beyond everything else. Now the doubt may come that why he is called supreme, because there is also Lord Shiva himself, many people worship him. There is also Brahma, and he is worshipped. So why only Krishna or Vishnu is considered as supreme? So in this next verse, which is a very important verse, he gives the hierarchy so that it becomes very clear, because this is a very confusing point about Vedic culture, Vedic religion, Hinduism, that who actually is God. Most people are very much confused about this. Indians themselves and similarly the Western people. So Bhagavatam is very clear about it, and time and again it establishes the fact that how Krishna is supreme. And this is one of the very important feature of Bhagavatam. That's why this is called Bhagavad Purana, because it tells who is Bhagavan. It is not Shiva Purana or Garuda Purana or Vayu Purana. It is Bhagavata Purana. So here you know who actually is Bhagavan. So in various ways Vyasadeva establishes this fact through stories, through direct statements, through implied meanings. So here now Lord Shiva himself is speaking this. So there is no doubt he is not confusing or deviating or speaking some mixture. So it says, Swadharma nishtha sat janma bhipuman virinchitameti tata param himam avyakritam bhagavatotha vaishnavam padam yathaham vibudaha kalate. Says that if a person continues to follow his or her duties for 100 lifetimes properly, then he can go to the planet of Brahma. And this does not mean that he will become liberated by that. He can reach Brahma. But he says that my abode is even beyond that. So if one does not follow the duties properly, then he cannot even reach Brahma's planet, not to speak of Shivaloka. So Shivaloka is even beyond that. And above that is the Vishnu Loka, Vaikuntha. Avyakritam Bhagavatot Vaishnava Padam. So Vaishnava Padam means the place of Lord Vishnu. And that place is called Avyakritam. It is without any changes. There is no Vyakriti or transformation, no flux. It is permanent place. All other places, they are destroyed in due course of time and created again. But this place is called Avyakritam. So Avyakritam, and this is the place of Bhagavan. Others are not called as Bhagavatam Param. And who is Bhagavan? Vishnu. Because Bhagavato atha Vaishnavam Param. So this Vishnu therefore is even above Lord Shiva. And here therefore you go by giving up the material body. And then he gives an example, Yatha aham vibuddha kalati. So just like I myself live there, although he is speaking here in the material world, but Shiva also has another form which is called Sadasiva, or the eternal form of Lord Shiva, and he is living in the spiritual world. So therefore it says Yatha aham and vibuddha kalati. And similarly the other devas who are qualified, after they give up their subtle body, then they are qualified to reach the abode of Lord Vishnu. So in this verse he has made it very clear. There is no confusion and no mixture. So Sri Vishnu Chakravarti says that Brahma Rudra Vishnu Nam Asmakam Sukritahi Praptir Tartamyam Manmukhadeva Yuyam Sunay Iti Vadan Vishnu Sarvata Sreshthyama. So he says that there is hierarchy between Brahma, Rudra and Vishnu. And you hear this from my mouth. So in this way, to explain how Lord Vishnu is superior to everybody, he speaks this verse. Swadharma nishtaha puman shatajanma bhir virinchitam virinchi padameti. After following and not following very staunchly, nishtha means fixed completely, no deviation, for 100 lifetimes. Then one goes to the place of Virinchi or Brahma. And tatrapi anishthitatve shatjanma bhirapi na prapnoti iti. But if one is not very fixed in one's own dharma, then he cannot attain Brahma's abode even after 100 births. Not possible. So this he is also showing, although he is explaining the superiority of Vishnu over Shiva and Brahma, but he indirectly this also shows the superiority of Bhakti. Because to reach the abode of Lord Vishnu, which is the highest, there is no need of 100 births. One can reach that in one birth. Yet to reach even abode of Brahma by the process of Karma Yoga, one has to take 100 births. So that also shows that how Bhakti is powerful, superior, supreme and easy to perform. Because this Karma Yoga involves many complicated things. So this is also informing about the superiority of Bhakti Yoga by explaining that it takes 100 births to go there. Tato virinchito api param sreshtham mam tato api punyati shaireveti. And then superior to this abode of Brahma is the abode of Lord Shiva. So, which means that it cannot be attained simply by Karma Yoga. One has to take to some yoga practice, special worship, and then one can reach there. Punya Atishya. So, special punya is needed there. And Bhagavatastu atha dehanta eva avyakritam prapanchatitam vaishnavam padam vakuntham. So these two abodes of Brahma and Shiva, they are within material world. Because Kailash is also there in the material world, and Satyaloka, Brahmaloka is also there in the material world. So one can go there, but to reach Vaikuntha one has to give up one's subtle body. Therefore the word atha is used here in this verse to show the distinction of Vishnu's abode from these other two places. It says avyakritam bhagavatam atha, that this is not within this material world. Therefore he comments that the word atha, thereafter, signifies one has to give up all material body to be there. And that is Vaishnavam Padam, that is Vaikuntha. Yatha ahamemi pratikshanam eva Vaikunthe vasan ekena prakashena bhagavantam bhajami. And then he gives his own example. He said, just as I am going there, which means that he is living there by one form. So Lord Shiva, by one of his forms, he lives in the Vaikuntha planet eternally and worships Lord Vishnu. So this is not known to many people. They think that Vishnu is also God. He is Shiva. So Shiva is a devotee of Vishnu. And he takes this particular form and shape to attract people who like tamas, so that he can bring them to Lord Vishnu. This is his role. Out of compassion, he goes around with ghostly people, and as if he's, with ashes and snakes. So then some people who are very much into Tamaguna, they are attracted to this. But he is Vaishnava himself, he is a devotee. So this way he is doing his service. Otherwise he says that I am eternally living there by one form. Dvibhasya adhikarika bhaktaha kala lingam tasya atyaya. Then among the devas, the adhikaris, in the Vedanta Sutra also it is described that some of the devas, they are devotees, but they have their own fixed period for which they have to perform their managerial duty. And after their period is over, then they give up their body and then they go to Vaikuntha. So that is described here. Kala. Kala here refers to the subtle body. Kala means part, and subtle bodies made of these various subtle elements. Swasva adhikarante api linga bhange eva yashyanti iti. So after their duty is over, then also they can reach this abode only after giving up their subtle body. Iti bhaktehe sadhan sadhya samayanam sukha labhyatvena api sarvotkarsha darshata. So here in this verse it is shown that bhakti is more easy to perform than anything else, and it is pleasing both in its practice stage as well as in the final perfected state. Sadhana sadhya samaya nam sukhalabhyatve. Samaya means rules, the principles. So as we read earlier, the intense austerity is performed in the vanaprastha. That is means following the karma yoga. If one has to go to Brahma's planet, then one has to do all this vanaprastha austerity just to reach Brahma's planet. And from there also one will come down, because even that is not a permanent abode. But in bhakti there is no need of that. So besides the superiority of Vishnu, superiority of bhakti is also shown here. Then he says that Bhagavata yuyam priyastha bhagavan yatha naivad bhagavatanam cha preyanamyosti karhichit. He says that you are devotees of the Lord and you are very dear to me. You are as dear to me as Lord Himself. He says that for me, namad bhagavatanam cha prayan annivasti karhichit. And the devotees also, they like me. So just as the devotees, they like Lord, they also like the devotees of the Lord. So this is natural for a devotee to like another devotee. See, the greatest pleasure for devotees to have the association of devotees. Because in the association of devotees you can talk about the Lord. You cannot talk that with the Lord. And that having that Bhagavad Katha or the description of stories of the Lord, that is most pleasing. So therefore Lord Shiva, He is very much liked by the devotees. In fact, He says that I am the most dear to the devotees. So this, of course, He is showing directly His love to the devotee, because He has come there to bless them, the Prachetas. Atha ateva bhagavata nam cha iti chakarena yatha ityasya anvayat bhagavata nam yatha bhagavato anya prayan nasti tatha mat matto api ityartha. So here he just explains that how the devotees, they like Lord and they also like the devotees of the Lord. So now he explains to them. He says that idam viviktam japtavyam pavitram mangalam param nishreyaskaram chapi shuyatam tadvadamiva. He says, now I am going to give you this prayer, which is very pure. Viviktam means not mixed with anything, or clear. It's not, sometimes you have mixed prayers. So it is very clear. Viviktam can also mean that it is to be chanted in a solitary place, not put on a loudspeaker. Right? 4 o'clock in the morning and start Trayambakam yajamahe sugandhi pushtivarnam. So it's not to be done like that. So it is to be done in a solitary place, and japtavyam, it has to be chanted, and it is pavitram, it is highly pure, mangalam, auspicious, param, supreme, nisrayaskaram, and it will bring all auspiciousness, the ultimate goal of life, and shruyatam tadvadam. So he is explaining this so that one hears with attention. When you give the importance that now I am going to tell you something which is very wonderful, great, secret, beneficial, then you will give your ears to that. So before he is giving them this very nice prayer, he is priming them, so to say. making them aware of the greatness so that they hear with great attention and memorize it, because he is not writing it. There is no book, so they have to hear it once and remember everything and then chant it. So this is the stotra he gives. Maitreya Vacha, Maitreya said, Iti anukrosha hirdayo bhagwan ahatan shivaha baddhanjalin rajputran narayana paro vachaha. So in this way, Lord Shiva, whose heart was full of anugraha or anukrosha is the word used here, means the grace, like his grace was overflowing, so that supreme powerful person, Lord Shiva, he spoke the following stotra prayer to the sons of the king Prachin Barhi, who were standing there with folded hands, Bandhanjali. They were with great awe and reverence standing in front of him. And Narayana Paro Vachaha. So Maitreya said that what is being spoken here, this is all about Narayana. It's all related to Lord Narayana. So we read earlier in the second canto there is a statement Narayana Paro Veda. Then the Vedas they speak about Narayana. Vishnu, Narayana, Krishna, same thing. So what he is going to speak therefore is actually the essence of the Vedas. This is the essence of all knowledge. And that's why it brings the highest benefit. There is nothing which compares with this, Nishreyas Karma. So Nishreyas, Nitram Shreyas. So complete, ultimate. And that's why he said that you hear Sruyatam with great attention. So hearing is these days lost. People don't know how to hear because they are doing multitasking. Just yesterday, it was a day before yesterday, Robert sent one of his own pictures. He's standing in his apartment and he's having a mobile on one side and the other phone on the other side. So, what is he going to hear? So, you have to hear with the fixity of the mind. So now he speaks Anukrosha Kripa Hridayasya. The word Anukrosha is used for Kripa, although literally it means Krosha means to shout and Anukrosha means to shout after. So but here it means grace. Means when somebody is in trouble and shouting, then you react to that. That is the meaning of Anukrosha. Anukampa also means same. Kampan means to tremble. So somebody is trembling out of distress or fear and you become compassionate. Means Anukampa. After that you also tremble. Means your heart trembles. Means you feel like doing something for that person. That is called Anukampa, Anukrosha. These are different words. So he was full of this compassion for them. So Sri Rudra Vacha, Rudra said, Jitam tayatma vidadhurya swastaye swastirastu me bhavatara dasaradham sarvasma atmane namaha. So these are all prayers to Lord Vishnu and Narayana. He says, Jitam te atma vidadhurya. Says that Lord, you are the supreme of all transcendentalists. Atmavid, the knowers of the Atma, the self. Transcendence, Dhuriya means the best. And Jitam means you have conquered everything. In other words, this is a way of saying that you are supremely glorious. So Jitam Atmavid Dhuriya Swastaye. And why you have done this? This is Swastaye. For the benefit of others. Or in other words, Atmavid Dhuriya Swastaye Tejitam. Because this is actually a samas here. What he is saying is that you have actually conquered, or you are glorious because you bring auspiciousness even to the Atmaramas. Atmavid Dhuriya here means the best of the transcendentalists. So even for the best of transcendentalists, you bring auspiciousness. Because even the Atmaramas, they are attracted to the beauty of the Lord. Atmaramas are people who are completely self-satisfied, self-realized, and have no desires to fulfill. But the beauty of Krishna is so great that even Atmaramas are attracted to him. Atmaramascha muniyo nirvanthe purukkunde kurvanti hatkim bhakti. They become so attracted that they perform bhakti, devotion to him. Why do they perform? Not for any reason, ahituki, without any reason. Why? Itham bhut guna. Because Lord's character is such, his qualities are so wonderful that even Atmaramas are attracted to him. So therefore he says, Atmavid Dhuriya Swastaye Tajitam. Swasti rastu me. Therefore let this swasti be for us. So this swasti is a word, in this only we have this swastika, this symbol which Hitler was using.
Hakenkreuz. In German it's called Hakenkreuz.
So in Sanskrit it is called swastika.
Swastika.
Means that brings supreme auspiciousness. That is called swastika. It comes from swasti, comes from the word su plus asti. Su means beautiful, asti means existence. So to have wonderful auspicious existence, that is swasti. So he says, let there be swasti for us. So sometimes when people give blessing, they say like this, swasti rastu. So they are saying that swasti rastu may, because Shiva is reciting it in a way as if one individual person is going to chant this stotra. So he says, may swasti rastu. Let there be all auspiciousness for me. Bhavata radhasa radham sarvasma atmane. Let there be bliss, perfection by performing worship. And you are the sarvasma, you are everything. Sarvasmai, atmane nama. So sarvamasti iti. Sarva, Krishna's own name is called Sarva. Sarva means all. So he actually has one name as Sarva because he is everything. Everything is his manifestation. Vasudeva Sarvamiti. In Bhagavad Gita it says that one who knows that everything is Vasudeva, Samahatma Sudhara. Arjuna also said that you are Sarva, you are everything. Because in his universal form, he showed this, that everything is Krishna. So bhavta radhasa radham sarvasma atmanenam. Therefore, I am paying my obeisances to you. Bhagavatam stuvano bhaktaya prathamam jaya jayati vadairitya. So he says, when we pray to the Lord, then first we say Jai, Jai. Right? So Radha Govinda ki Jai. So therefore he has used the word Jitam. Jitam is the past participle of the same root Ji. Ji means to conquer, to be glorious, to be supreme. So when we say Jai Jai means that all glory is to him, means he is supreme. So the same word is used here, Jitam the. Atmavidya Varyanam Atmaramanam Swastaya Sobhan Sattai Tvaya Jitas Tvadatkarsha Aviskrita. He says that for the auspiciousness of the Atmaramas, those who are self-satisfied, pleased within themselves, you have manifested your grace, your beauty, your wonderful pastimes. Now you give some grammatical rule that how the word swasti is formed from the root as. Ikshatipo dhatur nirdesayati shtip sobhan satta. So then you get the word swasti. In Sanskrit, the roots can also be used sometimes like nouns. Sobhan shatta cha bhagavad gun madhurya akrishtaya sayujya spriha raityena sukadi nami tad bhaktatvena sanatani sthiti. Then what is this swasti actually? What does it mean, swasti? So he explains this. Swasti means that when the mind becomes attracted to the wonderful sweet qualities of the Lord, and there is no desire even to attain Sayujya Mukti, as in the case of Sukadeva Goswami. So Sukadeva Goswami was an Atmarama by birth. He was a liberated soul. But when he heard some verses of Bhagavatam which were describing beauty of Krishna or qualities of Krishna, then his mind became very much attracted to Krishna. And he gave up this idea of Sayujya Mukti and became a devotee. So he became Nitya Vishnu Janapriya. Became dear to devotees and devotees became dear to him. So that is called swasti. That is the sanatani sthiti or the eternal position. So that is the real swasti. So people are saying swasti, swasti, or swasti astu or swasti nastu, but here Vishwanath Chakravarti is explaining that actually real swasti is to have the position of being a devotee, and that is eternal position, sanatani sthiti. Because that is the most auspicious, to be a devotee of the Lord. And once one becomes devotee, that is the eternal position. So therefore he says that Lord is, why he is called Jitam or Jai Jai, why we say Jai? That he conquers even the heart of Atmaramas. You cannot conquer an Atmarama, because how can you attract an Atmarama? He is Atmarama. He is happy with his own self. It's like if you have a bowl and it is full completely to the top, you can't hold more than that. But God is such a person that he makes it hold more. That Atmarama becomes even attracted to God. although he doesn't need anything, he is completely in bliss. So that's how he conquers them. That even they are conquered by him. So that's why God is called Krishna. People think Krishna is Indian God. He is God, but he is called Krishna because he attracts everyone, even the Atmarans. Not only the conditioned souls, but even the liberated souls are attracted by him. That is his greatness. So that's why Lord Shiva begins with Jitam te Atmavid Dhuriya Swaste. This is the significance of this. And then says that Swasti Rastu me, that may I also have this Swasti. And therefore it says Sarvasma Atmani, I am bowing down to you, you are the Sarva. So Yaduktam Tatha Paramhansanam Muninam Abal Atmanam Bhakti Yoga Vidhanarthan Katham Pashyama Striya. This is from the prayers of Kunti Devi, mother of Pandavas. She prayed to Krishna. She was saying that she was trying to conjecture why Lord Krishna appeared on earth. What was the need for him? He is the Atmarama of the Atmaramas. Why should he come here? So she gave many ideas that he has come to relieve the burden of earth, Bhubharhan earth. Or he has come to help the Pandavas because they were in trouble. Or he came to help Mother Devaki, she was put in the prison. Or he came to increase the fame of Yudhishthira Maharaj. So many conjectures he made. When finally she came to the last one. And she said that Tatha Paramhansanam Muninam Amalatmanam Bhakti Yoga Vidhanarthan. That actually he has come to give Bhakti Yoga. To whom? Paramhansas. Not just to ordinary people. Of course, if he is giving to Paramahansas, ordinary people can also. It means those who are even liberated. Paramahansa, Hansa, we know that one who is free from all impurities is called Hamsa. So Supreme Hamsa, not like Lufthansa. So there is Paramhansa. In Germany they have Lufthansa. So like that. In Sanskrit, Lupta means lost. Lupta. The Hansa is lost. So Muninam Amalatvanam. Those Munis, the great thinkers and Amalatmas who are completely pure in the heart. So to such people he gives Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga Vidhanartham Katham Pashyame Striya. So she was saying that how can we as a woman know you? And Kurvanti Ahatkim Bhaktim Itham Bhutaganohar. So this is again about the question was raised by Parikshit Maharaj to Sut Goswami, actually by Sonaka Rishi to Sut Goswami, that how is that Sukdev Goswami, he studied Bhagavatam, because he said that he recited Bhagavatam to Parikshit and he studied it from his father. How did he study? Because he was an Atmaram. He would not stay in one place, he was just a wanderer. Godavan Matrina, he stayed even when he went for begging food, he stayed for a few minutes, then he walked away. So he says, yes, he may be Atmarama, but when he saw Krishna and heard about Krishna, then his Atmaramanship was lost. His heart was captivated. Akshipt, Hare Gunair Akshipt Mati. his mind was completely captured by the qualities of Lord Krishna. That's why he's called Hari. Means he captivates, captures. So he captured the mind. That's why it says Itham Bhuta Guna Hari. Why? Because his qualities are like. Because Sukadeva Goswami heard this sloka, and he heard the sloka which was describing about Putana. Sadve Sadeva Putana Api. That Putana was liberated by Krishna just because she dressed like a gopi. Sadvesh means the dress of a devotee. And because of that Krishna blessed her. Otherwise he actually came to kill him with the poison. So Uddhava also said that Kamva Dayalum Sharanam Brajema. That he says who is more gracious than Krishna, whose shelter we can take. So when Sukadeva heard it, he was intrigued that is there a person like that? He never thought. So then he came back to his father to study Bhagavatam. He said, this I want to study. So that's why it is described here. Ato me mama swasti sobhana satta astu. So let me also have this swasti, this auspicious existence, which means to be a devotee of the Lord. Bhavata prayojikena yat aradhanam tena radham tasya siddhirastu. So there is a word which is used here which is quite like when you see from the grammatical point of view, it's bewildering because the word is bhavata radhasa radham. Bhavata means by you, and radhasa means worship, and radha means perfection which is attained by your worship done by you. So what is the meaning? Lord is not doing the worship, it is the devotee who is doing the worship. So he comments that bhavata prayojaken. It's a very interesting point made here. And the point is that there are two types of doers of activity. One is called prayojak karta, actually three types of kartas. And one is called prayojya karta and one is called swatantra karta. Karta swatantra iti yukta hetu karta prayojya prayojya karta tatha karta trivirdha. That sometimes you ask someone to do something, you say go and cook. So it is the person who is cooking, that person is called prayojya karta, or one who has been engaged. And you are the engager, you are the prayojak karta. You are not doing anything, but you are also instrumental in that cooking, because he is doing it under your instruction. So he is indicating, Lord Shiva is indicating here that when we are doing puja, first of all we should not think that I am capable of doing it myself. Otherwise we will also become proud that I am a great pujari, I am a great worshipper, I am great. No. It says it is possible only because He is the prayojak. Lord is making me do it. It is by His power, it is by His inspiration that I am doing it. If I am not inspired, matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. So Krishna says that I am sitting in everybody's heart, sarvasya chaham vidis sannivishto, and from me comes knowledge. So if he does not give the knowledge how to do puja, or I may even forget to do it, smritir jnanam apohanam, my memory can be lost. So even the good acts we are doing, we should not simply take credit for this. We should know that this is possible also by the grace of the Lord. So this is the meaning of Bhavata Radhasaranam. Directly it looks like as if Lord is doing the puja. He is not doing, but He is the prayojak karta. It is by His grace, by His inspiration. So in this Gayatri mantra which we chant, the prayer is only this, that you inspire me. Prachodayat means please inspire me. So our real prayer is only this, to get inspiration. We get all kinds of ideas and thoughts in our head. So the essence of the Veda is, the ultimate prayer is that I ask the Lord to inspire me. Because if I have the inspiration, then I will act properly. I act on the inspiration. Otherwise our minds are polluted by the desires. And then we get carried away. So therefore he says, Bhavata Radhasa. Radhasa means worship, Radhasa Siddha, Aradhana. That's why we have Radha, the greatest worshipper of Krishna, most devoted. So through this Radhasa, this worship, Radham, that perfection which comes, which is devotion, says that is also inspired by Him. So even the sadhana we perform, it cannot happen unless we are blessed by God. And unless God is blessing us, our mind cannot turn towards Him. Otherwise people are giving all kinds of illogic to say that there is no God. They are wasting energy on that. So therefore he says that this bhavata here, bhavata prayojikena yat aradhanam, that aradhana, that worship, that puja which I have done, being inspired by you, tena radhyam tasya siddhi. By that, let me have this siddhi in the form of this swasti, which is prema or love of God, this perfection of bhakti. Because that is the eternal position. Nanu Sri Guruna Mad Bhaktena Anyena va Mad Aradhanam Bhavati Natu Maya Tatraha. So now, as if the Lord is asking this question to the devotee who is praying, he says that my worship is done by the Guru or by my devotee. I don't do my own worship. The word used is like that, Bhavata, Radhasa, worship done by you. So he says, why are you saying that worship is done by me? Now he is taking the literal meaning. So then the verse says, Sarvasma, that you are everything. Sarvasma is Sarvaswarupa. He says everything is you. You are also Guru. Brahmarpanam Brahmahavi Brahmagna Brahmanahutam Brahmaevatena Gantavam Brahma Karam Samadhi. So the sacrifice is also Brahman. Havi is also Brahman. Fire is also Brahman. The person who is pouring the oblations into the fire is also Brahman. Everything is Brahman. So Brahma Tena Gantavam Brahma Karam Samadhi. So that's why everything is Him only, Vasudeva Sarvamati. Everything is Vasudeva, everything is Krishna. So therefore he says that you are the worshipped and you are the worshipper. So that's what Krishna showed in Govardhan. When he lifted Govardhan, he himself was worshipping and he himself was being worshipped. So by one form he was worshipping as Krishna with the cowherd boys, and he was also standing as Govardhan there with big body, long arms, and he looked just like Krishna. So Krishna was worshipping. So the worshipper was also Krishna and worshipped was also Krishna. So therefore he says Sarvasma. He says you are everything. Swara Swarupaya, all forms are your forms. Atmane Tvameva Guru Vaishnavadi Rupa Swabhajanam Karyasya. He says, you only become Guru, you only become a Vaishnava. All these forms are yours, and then you make them do your own puja, your own worship. That's what you are doing. Iti bhava, that is the meaning. Otherwise, it's a very difficult words to translate. What is he trying to say? Bhavata Radhasanandam. It doesn't make sense. But how he is explained it so nicely. And then he says, Namah Pankaj Nabhaya Bhuta Sukshma Indriyatmane Vasudevaya Shantaya Kutasthaya Swarochise. My obeisances to the Lord who has a navel, lotus navel, who is the source of the subtle elements, who is called Vasudeva, who is peaceful, who is unchanging, and who is self-effulgent. So this is the next verse. Kinchat tadvishayakaha sarvendriya vyapara eva tad bhakti sarvendriyani chatvad adhinani yatha kripaya madindriyani svavishaya vyaparvanti sampadayati prananti namati. He says that when our senses, all our senses, engage for the sake of the Lord, then that is called bhakti. So bhakti is a kriya yoga. Bhakti is actually the real kriya yoga. If all the activities are performed for the sake of the Lord, we have our eyes, our nose, ears, mouth, and all these things are done for the sake of the Lord only, then that is called bhakti. And these senses are under the control of the Lord. He is called Rishikesh. Rishika means senses, and Rishikesha means the Lord of the senses. So all the senses, the master is Krishna. So therefore the devotee says that you are the master of the senses, and I want to be a devotee, which means engaging my senses in your service. So you please make my senses function for yourself. Madindriyani svavishya vyaparvanti sampadaya. All the vyapar, all the functions of my senses should be for your sake only. For this is prananti, he prays. Bhut sukshmani shabdadi tanmatrani indriyani cha tesham atmane niyantre pankajnava. So the subtle elements and the tanmatras, because the senses are made from tanmatras, indriyani cha tesham atmane niyantre, you are the controller of them. So I am bowing down to you. You are Pankaj Nabhai, He Pankaj Nabhai. Tab Nabhi Pankajad Udbhavad Brahmataiva Madiyasya Asya Martadehasya Udbhutatvam. So Brahma was born from the navel of Lord Vishnu, and he said that we have all descended from Brahma. He is the first being. So he is referring to that appearance of Brahma. So he says this material body is all coming from Brahma. Imam swabhakti unmukham kuru. So please make this body also devotional, so that this also works for your devotion. And therefore Nama iti, I bow down. Iti bhavna vipreta, being with this emotion. Evan bhakti upayogartham dehindriyani samasena sansodhe punah pratyekam api shodhetum pratham chittadhishtaram vasudevam pranante. So he says, in this way, to make my body and senses for the purpose of devotion, bhakti, you please purify everything. And as samas means all together and individually, so then he first prays to the presiding deity of the Chitta, which is Vasudeva. So in Bhakti, there is this called Bhuta Shuddhi. It is an important part of worship. There is a statement that Devam Bhutva Devam Yajet, that we worship the Deva by becoming divine. We cannot worship the Lord with material body, material senses, material mind, because He is transcendental. To worship Him, we also have to become transcendental. That's why it is called Upasana. Upasana means, Upa means near and Asana means the seat. To take seat next to the Lord. And you have to be of the same quality as the Lord. So no material being can worship the Lord. So therefore there is a process called Bhuta Shuddhi, that we purify the elements of this body, senses, mind, intelligence, ego, everything, and then we become qualified to worship that. So in Tantras there is a description of this Bhuta Shuddhi, and this is what he is referring to here, that we purify each sense. And now he begins with the Chitta, because Chitta is the source. Everything's coming from there, from the memory stored there. So first, Cheta Darpan Marjanam. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also began his Sikshastaka with this statement, that Marjanam means cleaning, purifying, upgrading, uplifting the Chitta, which was compared like a darpan, like a mirror on which the dust has accumulated. So you remove that. So this prayer, why specifically Vasudeva is mentioned here, Vishwanath Chakravarti is commenting, says this is referring to the worshipable deity of the Chitta, the heart, which means that let first of all my heart be purified. Because if heart is not pure, then even you purify your senses, you can do all this neti, dhoti, bhastrika pranayam, clean your nose, right? And you can do the neti, the pot. So you have cleaned everything, but the heart is not clear. So first heart has to be clean, then everything else. So therefore there is a prayer to Vasudeva, Vasudevam Pranati, Vasudeva iti, Bho Vasudeva Machittam Shantam Nirvikaram Kritva Swarauchisha Prakashya Bhaktaveva Chaitaya Tubhyam. So he says, oh Vasudeva, please make my heart, my mind peaceful without any disturbances. Otherwise you sit down for chanting or puja, and mind starts dwelling here and there. So he says, make this shant, peaceful, that it does not go anywhere. And after that, Swarochisha Prakasha, let it become illuminated by your light. So not only that you have to stop all these thoughts running here and there and make it blank. No, that's not the idea, but you fill up with the light of Lord Vishnu. That I have thoughts only of the Lord. As Krishna says, Man mana bhavad bhakta, fix your mind on me. Yena kena prakarena manai Krishna niveshayat. Somehow or other, fix the mind on Krishna. That is the perfection of life. So he says, therefore, Chaitaya, you inspire, you illuminate. Tubhyam nama iti. I am bound down to you for this. So this is the beginning of Lord Shiva's, this Rudra Geet. This is called Rudra Geet, the song of Lord Shiva. It's very powerful. So I will stop here. We'll continue tomorrow if there is any question on this.
Yeah, I have a question, Babaji. It has to do with the term giving up. Let's say, all right, this is an example. I'm back in New York. I'm home. And I wake up and it's middle of the night and I see the form of Krishna or Shiva at the foot of my bed. Now, I can't even imagine what this would be like. But anyway, it's not that I choose to give up my body to them, either one of them. It's that the Lord will just take the soul and put the soul where it needs to go. It's not like I'm thinking, oh, well, here's Krishna and Shiva, now I have to give this up. It's more like that's an immediate thing. The personality of the Lord comes and takes the spirit, takes the soul, and then puts it where it needs to go next. Is that the better way to understand?
Your job is not to give the soul, but to engage it in the service.
But if I'm just waking up out of a sleep and then I see God at the foot of my bed,
you pray to Him.
That could also be a little terrifying. I mean, it's kind of like terrifying in a way. You know, or if I go into my living room and there he is sitting on the sofa or something.
So you can be terrified for a moment, no problem.
So the Lord won't allow the terror to go on too long.
He's not coming to terrify.
It just crossed my mind. Especially Shiva with the snakes and everything. One could just, well, I would think, the term that I would use is I would just drop dead right there in the spot. How does the mind process that?
If it happens, it happens. Don't worry about it.
I don't think you would have that choice.
Okay, any other question? Right, Hare Krishna.